Grab a notebook and grab some tea because we're about to get deep. Here are 3 lessons I learned in therapy that changed my life. But first, my story. At the age of 10, I was suicidal. There were a lot of different things going on in my life at that time, family issues, school, I was being bullied, there were really toxic teachers, and my life just felt so out of control that I thought the only option was just to end it. Now, luckily, I didn't, but fast forward to the first year of high school in grade 8, I was hanging around the wrong people. The kind of people who you needed to be sad in order to fit in with them. They convinced me that self-harming was cool and it's what I needed to do to fit in. Now, luckily, I outgrew that phase, and that brings us to 2020. Now, 2019 was a really intense year for me. Within the span of like 7 months, I put out 2 EPs, 1 single, traveled to LA, and sold out my own show, all without a break in between. And I was just going really hard, not to mention putting out content and making a beat every single day, and while still working a part-time job and teaching. I enjoyed it, for sure. Well, my ego enjoyed it. Hustle culture definitely has its appeal. And so after selling out the show in 2019 and entering 2020, I realized that I was so burnt out. I was so tired and I was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I was having a hard time showering even. And at that point, I just decided, you know what? I need professional help. And so I went on to BetterHelp and I got matched for the therapist, and he was in the right place in my life at the right time, and I'm so thankful for him. He helped me get a routine set up again and helped me really restabilize. So you might be wondering, if my mental health has been good since then, why have I been in therapy for the last 7 months? Basically, in December, I entered into a new relationship with this amazing girl. Shout out to Annie. And it's amazing how a relationship puts a spotlight on all the things that you haven't dealt with. Like, when I entered this relationship, I thought, yeah, you know what? I have my shit together. I've healed a lot of things. I think I've resolved my past. But then, kablam, she is the light of my life in the sense that she shines a spotlight on all the things that I haven't healed yet. And so I decided, you know what? I want to be the best version of myself for myself first, but I also want to be the best possible partner for her. And so I decided, you know what, let's do the work. Let's resolve all this past trauma. Let's heal it. And so I've been seeing my therapist for the last 7 months, and it has been the most transformational 7 months of my life. The current therapist that I'm working with right now is such an incredible woman, and she has taught me so many profound lessons. The first of which, you can't heal what you don't let yourself feel. So this big dictionary right here represents your emotions. And so often when we have an unpleasant or uncomfortable emotion, what we tend to do is this, right? How long do you think I can hold this up? Probably another 10 minutes or so, but I can already feel my arms starting to get tired. And this is also the 3rd take that I've done this particular section, so my arm is extra tired. The weight is so much more difficult to manage when it's at a distance, but the second I bring it close to me, the weight feels like nothing. You see, healing starts with feeling. And if you want to manage your emotions better, see them, don't be them. So I want you to imagine a bowl right here. Also, check out my dad bod. So I want you to imagine a bowl right here in your body, and it's filled with water. And that water is your emotions. It's like an emotional fruit punch. Why do we call it a fruit punch? It's like fruit punch. Anyways, and what happens is that a situation or somebody will come along and bump that bowl, and suddenly, whoop, sadness is activated. Whoop, love is activated. Whoop, anger is activated. And the wording of this is very important. The situation or person activates our anger. That means that the anger is an object. It's not us, which means we can be aware of it and watch it. You see, emotions gain more power over us the more we identify with them, but the minute awareness steps in is the minute we start to take power back. Inside Out was such a revolutionary movie for teaching children about their emotions. You know, there's all these little creatures running around that represent each of the emotions. And it's such a helpful paradigm that I come back to myself to remind myself that, you know what, I'm not my emotions. Let's take a step back and just watch them. So now, instead of saying, oh my gosh, this situation pissed me off so much, instead, this situation really activated my anger. Let's watch it. So as you go throughout your day, I encourage you, be aware of your thoughts and watch them objectively. And as for your emotions, it's all in your body. Your mind generates the thoughts, and emotions are your body's reaction to those thoughts. Emotions live in the body. For example, anger. You might feel that as fists clenched, muscles tense, fast breathing. Or how about sadness? You might feel that as your body closing, your voice getting softer, tears perhaps. Or what about joy? You might feel that as your body uplifting, a smile comes to your face. You're opening up like this. You see, the thing about the nervous system is that it's a two-way highway. The mind influences what the body feels, yes, but to an even bigger degree, the body determines what the mind thinks. So what if, instead of thinking our way out of negative emotions, we worked it out physically? Here's a technique that my therapist taught me for dealing with panic attacks, because ever since I was a kid, I dealt with those. When you feel one arising, sit down, scrunch your toes, do some Kegels, take a deep breath, and swallow. This is a grounding technique that helps you get back into your body and back into your parasympathetic nervous system, the thing that calms you down. Here's another one of my favorites that my therapist taught me. This one I use like so regularly. It helped me get over perfectionism, over anger, over so many things. That being said, it requires you to really dig deep into like some uncomfortable emotions or memories. So I would suggest don't do it on your own, do it when you have professional help. But basically the technique is this: you ball up your hands into a fist and you really deeply feel the energy of that, negative situation or emotion, and you direct it all towards this fist, and you'll feel your fist really clench. On the other hand, she made me do this really flowing, all loving, gentle hand right here, and bring that loving, gentle kindness to this rough, rigid perfectionism. And slowly but surely, my hand let go. And so did my mind. I no longer grabbed onto perfectionism anymore. It was just gone all of a sudden. And it was insane. Like the minute I was like, wait, I don't need to be perfect in order to be loved. I'm perfect just the way I am. And even now, when I try to re-grab perfectionism, like when I think, okay, I need to be perfect to be loved, like my hand can't even grab it. Like physically, I can't bring myself to grab it. It's such an extraordinary thing. If you're a perfect person, then therapy isn't for you. However, for the rest of us out here, I'd really suggest that you give it a shot. Now you might be thinking, wait, my problems aren't big enough to need professional help. I should just work it out on my own. They're too small. And that's exactly what I thought before starting this journey. I thought that my problems were way too small, didn't need professional help. I thought it was overkill to get a therapist. I should just figure it out. It was just a little bit of sad. But the thing is, your struggles are real. Don't invalidate them. Because whether you have a little or a lot to unpack, healing is for everybody.